Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and certified lifestyle coach. Why has the game changed? And global authority, the path to demand and business growth. This is my story. I was all about local until my stroke. Then I realized how vulnerable my business was and how much it just tanked because I hadn't created systems. I didn't have the online profile to survive. And this is what I want for you. Stay with me. The idea that you can go from local to global and increase your demand by 10 to 100-fold is possible. How one person built authority, audience, and opportunity without losing his authenticity. Tongue tie. Okay, here we go. You're excellent, but you're also invisible. Talented, local, respected, quietly. Talented locally, respected quietly. You have a strong reputation within your immediate circle, 140 people locally. Clients love your work. Strong results that you deliver for your clients, but weak visibility. Search me, search you. Both are different. When you can look online and go on a journey with a person, the journey continues. When you don't find anything, the journey's over. So your results speak for themselves, but only to the people you directly work with. The wider market is unaware. Word of mouth ceiling. You rely on referrals, which are great, but inconsistent and impossible to scale. You hit a natural limit to your growth. The results, hard work no longer equals growth. You're trapped by the time and money model. Your income is directly tied to the hours you can work. So many of my realtor friends are working hard. But when I search, I don't find a reason to go on a journey with them because they haven't intentionally looked at their business from global lens. Inconsistent referrals. Leads are unpredictable. Leads lending to feast or famine cycle. So many times we stop working that local, then all of a sudden we don't have enough demand. When we don't have enough demand, we can't create cash flow and build a thriving business. Watching from the sidelines, you are less qualified people with bigger online platforms winning the opportunity you deserve. I know I'm good. Why doesn't the market know? The problem isn't your skill, it's your profile. The shift from operator to owner of influence. The journey begins with the decision to move from consumption, which the typical American watches 4 hours of TV, scrolls 2.5 hours of TikTok videos or social, versus creating. So you're consuming other people's lives, but you're not creating your life. Stop just learning generally and start teaching. When you teach, you learn more effectively and you broaden your influence and authority because people can see your uniqueness online, the problems you solve. Going from a doer to a messenger. Shift focus from only delivering the work to communicating its value. Accidental presence versus intentional presence. Engineer your digital footprint with purpose. Influence is a system, not a personality trait. A lot of my friends don't want to put themselves out there because they don't want the light shining on them. They don't want to be an influencer. But there's a big difference, because if you don't shine out online, the people that want you can't shine in. So when you make that paradigm shift and you realize your online world is now global, your demand can grow 10 to 100-fold. You don't wait to be chosen. You decide to lead. Becoming a key person of influence is an act of self-definition. Choose a niche. Go from being a generalist to a recognized specialist. Declare a point of view. Have an opinion. Stand for something. This is what attracts a loyal audience. Define yourself. If you don't define your brand and expertise, the market will do it for you, or worse, ignore you completely. Build. Step one, build your digital home base. Build your digital home base. Stop scattering your efforts on rented platforms, but build a central hub you control. Your voice you can control. Your podcast you can control. Every asset you create, every conversation you have is an asset that lives on forever. Versus an activity where you go to, say, a B&I meeting. It starts and it's over. That's an activity. It's a memory. But instead of the time you put into that effort, activity, put it into creating an asset, a podcast, build a relationship with key strategic partners, create those assets. Those assets grow. Your activities start and they finish and they're over. So a long form can be a short form flywheel. Content can be created from your asset. So if you have a long form podcast, it can be broken up into an article, it can be broken up to shorter videos, it can be broken up into a community magazine like we do. These are things, when you think globally, when you think asset versus activity, your business changes and your global demand kicks in. The average person has 140 people that know, like, and trust you. What if that number changed from 5,000 to 1 billion? That's the difference between playing in a local sandbox with a finite number of people to a global sandbox, which is infinite and from 5,000 to 1 billion. When you create demand, you are in control of your business. You're generating cash flow. You're building a thriving community and business. Turn your experience into authority. Story, lesson, framework. A simple formula for creating content that builds trust. Establish your content pillars, 3 to 5 core topics you will own. Teach what you're learning, and you'll be becoming a key person of influence. You don't have to be the ultimate guru. Consistency over perfection. People don't follow expert. They follow guides who share the journey. Third step, connect your influence to an ecosystem. We teach one conversation a week. Then from there, being consistent, creating other content off of that, building that relationship, all that is around your online exposure, online profile. Online, that's where the opportunity lies today. So if you're a trusted expert in your local market and you search your name and you see a couple things, a website, maybe a LinkedIn profile, you're missing the greatest opportunity, and it's now. AI is changing things, technology is changing things, and the world is changing. So you got to go from that local sandbox to a global sandbox. 140 people that know, like, and trust you. Great reputation in your local. Now you got to think global, your profile. That can be seen by over 1 billion people. So do you want 140 or do you want 1 billion? That's the kind of demand that's possible if you recognize. To expand your reach, stop shouting and start collaborating. The fastest way to grow is to be seen in the right rooms, focused on borrowed audience. Be a guest on an established podcast in your niche. Forming strategic partnerships with complementary brands. Engaging in community and cross-pollination. Growth isn't about more control, it's about better content. Same message, bigger stage. 140 people locally, over 1 billion worldwide. The people that listen to this can be halfway around the world. And when you Google my name, put Pete Kane, / or just put Pete Kane podcast, you'll see 6 pages, 5 to 6 pages of content. My guests, assets that will continue to grow. So I'm not playing a game of running around trying to be everywhere. I just want to be somewhere. And somewhere is online. Somewhere is in our school community. Somewhere is creating podcasts. Somewhere is that strategy is comforting, relaxing, and strategic. Start messaging a bigger stage with a clear message and a strong digital system. Your work scales without more effort. This is how you achieve one-on-many impact. One-on-many when you're doing a talk, one-on-many when you're doing a podcast, one-on-many. Digital products that serve clients while you sleep. Online communities that foster connection across borders, our school community. You can join right now by going to that QR code. You get a free gift when you go. That's for you. When your message is clear, geography disappears. Hold on here, let me get that. This is your new identity. A key person of influence operates with a different mindset. It's about daily influence habits, consistently showing up and adding value, long-term brand thinking, building an asset for years, not just a local activity meeting, legacy over likes, focusing on real impact over vanity metrics. Key person of influence doesn't chase attention, they build trust at scale. Your voice was never meant to stay local. I want to challenge you. If you're unclear about your future, you don't know what your next steps are, you don't know how to create a podcast that will echo, you don't know how to build a community like school, and you need help, you need a guide. I'm a high performance lifestyle coach. I'll teach you the lifestyle, the freedoms of time, wealth, health, creative, travel, and location. So if you want to book a session, go to the QR code right here. Oops, right there. Book a session. If you've been a podcast guest, you get it for free. If you haven't, there's a $97 off. It's a $97 investment. The best investment you could ever make. But with our podcast guests, we want to give you something. We keep on giving to you. Join our school community. You can go to this QR code. I just switched it. Join our school community, and you can have access to one or two gifts: journaling for personal freedom and the high performance habits and the mastery of them. Clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. I'm Pete Kane. Be bold, make an impact, and have fun.